viewers. Ayo, fellow collectors, how's it going? How y'all doing? What are we up to and what are we doing? We got episode 8 of VeVe Walt reactions, and today we got a couple awesome guests from holics. I gotta give them a shout out. Go subscribe to their channel, go follow the Twitter, and let's get Falcon in here.
Oh,
my
hi.
co-host today. How you doing, buddy?
Hang on, co-host. I thought there was part 2 of me. What?
Oh,
What is going on?
I made a
What is
mistake.
this?
I think I made a mistake.
Oh
Are we
no!
in? Oh,
Is there another guest? Oh god!
yeah. So we were supposed to
This
hang
is
out with
so
your boy.
awkward.
I think we're supposed to hang out with your. Why is it awkward?
No, it's fine. Just I just like I said, I thought it'd be just about me, but it's fine. It's fine.
We
it's
could
fine.
go back. We could start off with you and then like bring him in.
No,
You want to, or do you want to just bring him in? All right,
whatever.
we got an amazing holic. Tales from the Risso. What is up?
What is good? What is good? Thank you for having us on. Sorry it's a bit delayed. Cancelled last week, didn't I? But we're here, and thank you so much, Evolve, for doing this. And it's good, Falcon. You alright, mate?
I didn't know it was you. I don't. No, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not gonna work. I'm good, man.
Leave.
How are you doing? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Hot in London, isn't it? It's hot in London.
It's hot. Yeah, it's really hot in the office. And I will apologise for generic real background. I am on my phone and I can't figure out how to put a background. So
if that was a background that you'd like chosen,
we need AR glasses to see what's going on back there. That's all.
We do.
Yeah, at least you got the dimensions. That doesn't look cool.
You guys got $3,500 floating around that you wanna throw my way? I'll take some. I'll take some.
Oh man, well, it is a pleasure to have you on finally. No, it's all right. You missed last week. It's okay.
Thank you.
Got to hang out with the family, so I hope you got to hang out with the family, spend some time with yourself or whatnot. But it's crazy to have like almost an entity here. I'm just kidding. I know we've talked a little bit about your the holics crew, and I know there's no hierarchy, but when I talked to a couple of you, it seems like there was a first 5 or first few. That's kind of what I want to start with, was like, how did you guys come together? Who was all this coming out to be? Because it's like really cool that all you guys are just like hella creative, and the vaults you guys make are just insane. I have to put a spotlight on all that.
I really appreciate that, man. And that's a great question, because I like talking about kind of the history. Yeah, the origin stories. Yeah, there we go. Everybody loves an origin story. But I guess for me it started, so I first ever, I'll go right from the start, right? I used to play poker, still do a bit. And during the time, I followed this guy called Joe Ingram. I always shout him out because if it wasn't for him, I may have never found VeVe at all. And he was talking about some crypto projects and whatnot. And he said one called Omi. And he was like, this is going to be back in an NFT, and a new NFT project that sells digitally licensed collectibles, which we all know now to become VeVe. Looked into it a bit, started looking up on YouTube. And then I bought the coin originally. I bought the Omi coin, and then I was like, let me see what the app actually does. And then it was like a week before they dropped the first DeLorean, and I was like, why not? Let me go for this drop, see what this is all about. And got it. Took a little video, kind of didn't think anything more of it. At the time, I had my real name Twitter, and I was following a couple of people that were doing that kind of stuff, like Claire. Shout out to Claire. She was kind of, for me, the first ever person I saw do anything with AR pics and whatnot. And then I saw her, she started, I think somebody was just using like a photo app that maybe added, thunder and lightning to the picture. And I was like, this is really cool. So I did one, by that time I bought a few Batman collectibles, as Falcon knows, and probably anybody on my Twitter knows, like I'm a huge fan of Batman and the IP. So I went and bought Batman Who Laughs and a few others and whatnot, took the photo. And then I was like, I wonder if you can do this in video format, because obviously they're 3D collectibles. good thing about the VeVe Vault controls, you can move around in them. Anyway, so I remember taking one video, you know, really generic. But back then it was because again, me and Falcon, we talk about film a lot. I love film cinematography, you know, the feeling a movie soundtrack can elevate the scene, you know, and stuff
And
like
your
that.
background's in music as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I used to was a DJ for like 10 years, producer for about 3 or 4, but kind of, you know, lost the passion for it maybe 8 years ago. But anyway, so coming back, and then I remember I recorded one video. I might have sent it to one of my in real life friends, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" And I was just like, "What? Do you not look at this and think I'm the next Christopher Nolan?" Like, what? Anyways, because I was talking to my friends about it a lot, but they just didn't care, right? And I don't know whether you ever had it like back in the day on Facebook. You'd see one of your in real life friends post a picture of a bacon sandwich or whatever, and you're like, bruv, like, I don't want to see this. So I wanted to start a Twitter that was just completely for VeVe, that, you know, none of my friends would see. Anyways, so I've started that. I think I put one video out, and then I realized that there were others that were also doing this. At the time, Falcon was doing a lot of kind of single shot, kind of comedic, so to speak, kind of shots. Like when the collectible Death dropped, I think you did a thing where you had like just Death in the middle of the vault, and then all the collectibles on the floor, their faces in the ground. And it just worked really well. And that's how me and you started chatting, Falcon, right? Because it's like, you might be my favorite new comedic, you know, comical kind of creator. And then I stumbled across True Tech and Ryan Romantech. And at the time, I think Ryan Romantech had just done his first ever. And is it Romantech or Romantic? I've always got this. I think it's supposed to be Romantic, but I've always just called him Romantech.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we've got that confirmed from him, even though I've spoken to him many times. Anyways, he just dropped his first, like one of his first ones, which was like the club, like the VeVe club, and it was insane. He had obviously like the pride all around, so the whole, you know, you got moving images just inside the vault. He even made like a toilet where you had like a load of the Batman like queuing up, even with like the freshen up guy. I don't know whether you have that in America, but if we go into a club, there's always a guy going, you want aftershave, smell nice, ladies, yada yada yada. And I was like, this is insane. I was like, because all I was doing at the time, I had 3 collectibles, I'm just going around them or whatever. And then I found True Tech, who at the time, I think he'd just done his, because obviously he has a Let's Play series, and he, I think it was his Ready Player One Let's Play, where he's got all the cars lined up, he'd filled the vault to the max, and it was just insane.
Yeah.
So that, you know, really got me wanting to do more. And then by that time, I'd obviously had started my VeVe Twitter, and I just started reaching out to the guys like Falcon. Every time I saw Falcon post, I'd always just go, "Love this, bro!" Like, you know, giving feedback, and the same with True Tech. Yeah, no, and this is, you got to remember, just replying. This is before Spaces. This is pre-Spaces, right? So this is just replying in text on Twitter. Then Spaces started. I mean, they may have already been going a little bit. I think there was a time where you could only start a space if you had a certain amount of followers or something like that. An Orange Bag Lady, shout out to her. She was doing Spaces. Anyways, I opened one day, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about the creative side. And a load of people come in, and again, this is so early in Spaces. Nobody really knows how to act. Like when you put your hand up, or you know, you segue someone into the conversation, it was just chaos, really. But everybody wanted to, but a lot of the people, they're just wanting to talk about market prices, right?
Yeah.
And Traps Wellington was in the space at the time. Me and him had like tweeted a little bit back and forth, because this is around when Marvel first dropped on the app, and we were kind of complaining to each other that all we were getting were commons. Like 70 commons off the drop, which now, if you got 70 MC1 commons off the drop, you'd be pretty happy. Yeah. But anyway, so he said to me after that space, he hit me up and he was like, yo, man, it's like, why don't me and you start proper weekly or bi-weekly space that is just about creating in the vault. Because at the time, Traps Wellington was also doing his own. He had his YouTube channel where we would have people like, yeah, he would do some very comical as well, wasn't he, Falcon?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
he was
very funny dude.
using like AR stuff a lot. And
Yeah,
I think I
just,
did see a couple like shorts he
yeah,
did.
like
They're
the
pretty funny.
Murmur Cornos, and they were very funny. And he's like very he was a wrestler, so he was like super charismatic. Had his vibe. Traps Wellington,
the snapping of the guns,
like him, but you know,
yeah. So that was that, and then I mean, we still speak about this to this day, me, Falcon, True Tech, how lucky we were, because by that point I was following Falcon, True Tech, Ryan Roman Tech, Get Richie, VeVe Vivified, Chill Crazy, Deadpool Well, VeVe Giffy, Fancy Fingers, Athena, and Traps. I really hope I haven't missed anyone. I always feel like I do.
I think you got them. You said Chill, yeah?
Yeah, I haven't missed you, have I?
That's who I missed. No, I'm here. It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so and again, not even really thinking. I literally, without asking anybody, just started a DM group, and I just added all these people in. Now, I was talking to everybody individually, but I didn't even stop to think, have these guys even spoken to each other? Is this going to be weird? And I didn't think about this at the time. But then, you know, I added everybody in. I went, yo, guys, you're the creators in this space that I've found since being in here a month. We want to start regular spaces, you know, pushing forward like the creativity in the app. Would you all like to join? And we can, you know, sit and chill in here and you know, feedback and shoot ideas off each other and whatnot. And then one day, I think it was Get Richie, we were called like, should we put a hashtag on our videos? Like, we weren't trying to start a crew, right? It was nothing like that. It was just like, these were the only guys we knew at the time that were creating. So, and then we always call it like Vault Gang, or just a load of, you know,
we did throw around some names, didn't we? I'd love to see those messages again, because they were awful, some of them.
Yeah, but then Get
the
Richie,
Vault Friends.
Yeah. Or just quickly, did that come? I just had a message come through. Did that come up on my thing?
No,
you didn't see anything. Okay, cool.
No, you're good.
I did think I put a do not say. Anyways,
you're good.
And then one day, Get Rich, we were just shooting around names, and Get Richie went, "What about the Vault Holics?" I was just like, "That works.
Brilliant.
That sounds great." And so we put out. I think Deadpool Well put together like a, you know, a template, or what was it even called?
Like a logo.
Like a logo. It had the Vault Holics, and then we were like, "Oh, we're going to do a space," and then VeVe retweeted it, and we're like, "Amazing! Can't wait to see it." And then we'll always remember this. It's quite sad, quite fanboy, but the first time on an AMA, and Dan from VeVe, the COO, said, "Oh, and shout out to Vault Holics, can't wait to see your space." And then I guess from there, it kind of, to the community, I assume they were just like, "Oh, if you're a Vault builder, you're the Vault Holics," and that's what we wanted to be, an all-encompassing thing, where, you know. But then, you know, as time's gone on, some, you know, people have gone and done their own thing. They don't want to necessarily be pigeonholed into one thing, which is great. I get it. Everybody wants to do their own thing. So that's the really long version of your question there, but that's how it all started.
That's an amazing story, dude. It's crazy to see how far back it goes and how it all started. I mean, sure, some people are like wondering, you know.
Tails is very much the Nick Fury of the Avengers that are the Vaultaholics. I guess I'd be maybe like Hawkeye, probably.
Ant-Man.
I could see Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye's all right. You know, I'm definitely not like Hulk or anything. But yeah, without this man, I don't know. Things might be different. He created this community, brought together this community of creative folks, and I know there are many other people since then who have started vault building, but I don't know. He had a vision and he executed it, and he's very good at that.
When you bring people together, anything's possible. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, you can. It's a weird thing, because I always think like the fun for me has never changed. Like, there's been times where I might not build a vault or something like for a few months, and then I'm like, man, am I just not as into it? And then as soon as I start doing it, and I get to that like one piece where you walk around and you go, man, this looks pretty nuts. Like, the fun factor has never waned for me. And I think until that happens, I'll always be doing it. But then it is also interesting. Like, I bring this up quite a lot. Is I wonder if the VeVe community or whatever would be as engaged and still around if Spaces on Twitter never happened. Again, I can't talk for other social medias like Discord and Facebook. I'm sure there's huge communities there, but I just don't know about it. So when I speak on community, it's only on Twitter because that's all I know. So, but yeah.
The Twitter sphere is very like discreet in a way, so you can be like anybody and nobody will know who you are as long as you don't share photos like that. So I think that's the big thing about Twitter, and Twitter is like used all the time. I think it has a lot more crypto people in it as well, and that's a lot of the users now. So I think without Spaces, maybe not. I don't know. It definitely expanded like the networking side of everything. So it's crazy to see all this boom off like that.
I'll say this. So between when I opened my VeVe Twitter to like, which was June 2021 to like, I guess September 2021, I think I had 3,000 tweets. Like, there would be a day where I am just tweeting, replying like all day, every day. And then I think from then till now, it's probably only another 3,000 tweets. So it goes to show that once Spaces come along, you know, people will spend less time on their feed and more time with just, you know, talking one-to-one, which I think, you know, is great. Like, I do love Spaces. They have,
they're cool. I like them. I've been wanting to hold a space, but then I'm like, I don't know what for. I want to make a great host. Would make a great host.
You'd be a good host. I've tried to do it a few times, and I always get Tales to do it for me because I freak out. And then Tales is an excellent host because you let people talk, whereas I always want to be the center of attention and just jump in and make jokes. So, you know, I suck, but he's good at it.
He does. Not you. Shut up. Stop being humble. It's annoying at this point, bruv.
Oh man. I really didn't think about any other questions.
That's all right. I'm sure things will come up and we can just, you know, bounce off.
Yeah, let's just go off of one recent video you did. I didn't get to see it. I haven't seen it. There was like 2 of these that I didn't see yet. And I wanted to save it for genuine reaction as always.
Appreciate that.
Everyone that sees this is usually seeing some sort of weird face of mine or something. So
and I never watch Tales videos. I always tell him that they're brilliant. They're really good. Well done, mate. But I don't actually watch them because I just get bored. So I won't have seen it either, which is fantastic. I can't wait. Can't wait to actually see what you do. I can't wait.
Go.
Let's do it. Can you guys see that? Is that there?
Yeah, it's just loading up.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let this load here for a minute because Twitter likes to be weird and freeze up the screen every once in a while when you're playing something. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm interested.
We are all wrong.
I like the way it sounds in my ears. It's an all black room, bro. How do you do that?
I'll reveal the tip afterwards.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's a gradual reveal.
They avoid.
Here we go.
looks so cool combo together. Blast in the face, goodness.
That is
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
I love
awesome,
it.
though. I love that. Let's see. Go back so I can see you guys again. This is always a weird one. Yep, there's something weird going on all the time. I'm doing
There we go.
There it is. All right, that was awesome. I gotta
It's
say,
brilliant.
Thank you.
It's absolutely brilliant.
It's always so cinematic from the ones that I have seen from you. So it's always like a trailer, so to speak. And I know you said you had did something for VeVe, like what, last 2021? Was it 2021 or 2022?
Last year for Comic-Con, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I for some reason I still didn't get to go see that, but that's
Yeah.
I don't know. It's mind blowing the way you can edit these to be so cinematic like that.
And the
No,
use
I
of
think-
the music as
what gives you
well.
that like spark or idea when you're putting all this together?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I mean, again, the great thing about the Vaultaholics and all the Vault builders in general is I think everybody has their own kind of style. Like when I came in, again, like I've always just been so fascinated by watching a trailer for a film and whether it makes me want to see that film or not. I've always enjoyed the cinematography and stuff like that. So, and a huge Nolan fan. Like if it wasn't for his Dark Knight when he, did the sequel, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, rest in peace, which is now my favorite film ever. That kind of sparked my love again for Batman and this general cinematography and the way things are shot, the suspense that you can use, and so that's what I've always tried to do with like. If you look at any one of my vaults, actual videos, they are just supposed to be a little film trailer.
Yeah.
So the backstory behind this one. Again, this is maybe like my fourth or fifth vault that I did like June 2021. And when we all figured out you could get outside of the vault and into like the empty space around it, I was just, just going as far away from the vault and seeing what was happening. And then the rendering in the app will start to make things disappear and bring them in if, when you go forward and stuff. And at the time, again, this was it before Marvel was announced? I think it was, but we all knew Marvel was coming. I put out a tweet saying, man, my brain's going into overdrive. What if VeVe bought out the Thanos, it snapped, and then half your collectibles just disappeared for 10 seconds? And then I did the video, and I was like, back in 2021, and I was like, well, you can actually do this, right? You can have it so it snaps and then things disappear, like the Thanos snap. So the idea behind it when we finally got the glove, the gauntlet rather, was I was gonna do it where all the heroes disappeared, but I was just like, actually, why don't I do? And what was I gonna call it? What if the snap brought them back? But I mean, that's what happens in the film anyway.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to film that, and then just slowly coming in, and then obviously you get Spider-Man, and then Hulk, and then Iron Man. That's actually done in the empty space bit, and not the vault. And that's the first time I've ever used the empty space. I should probably use it more, but the way I just got it black is, so I use my editing suite on my phone or whatever is Splice, and on there you can obviously change the filters, change the color, and I come across, it's just the contrast, isn't it, Falcon? I think, or exposure, to bring it all the way there. And then if it was normal, you would see the whole empty space, the grids,
the grid and all that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and
I love your use of the Avengers dialogue in that though, because it really tells that story. You've got it's like Thanos is winning, and then the heroes come back, and you end with the big reveal of Iron Man. And that, I mean, tell us about what you used for the stuff behind Iron Man, because he's framed by iron stuff, and it's really cool.
Yeah, that's again, that's the train, the Back to the Future DeLorean train.
It's such a cool effect.
Bro, it's so cool, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. But like, man, I tell you what, that thing is temperamental to say the
It's
least.
wild,
And
isn't it?
yeah, and I'll talk more on that if we talk about the dragon video. But so you could place it, then you have to activate it, and that's what brings the fire in, right? But you
It
have to
drops,
obviously,
doesn't it?
yeah, you have to scale it up. But there's a really weird thing with it where if you scale it up to a certain point, it's almost like it goes the other way. I know this is really hard to explain, but luckily for that shot, all I had to do was, stop, press a certain part of the screen and hold it. This is always a top tip, and I'm sure a load of people know this anyway, but it was Fancy Fingers and True Tech that told me this, is that with any animated collectible, obviously you press it right and it activates it. But if you press it quickly, it'll highlight it with the blue, it'll bring the arrows up because it thinks you want to move it. Now, if you just press it and hold it for 2 seconds, it will do the animation without it selecting. So that's how you get it. And same thing in AR. Like if you're going to do an AR pick, like I saw a really cool one. I'm so sorry to who this is because I can't remember the actual name, but they had all the Hulks smashing up a pizza, like they were in a canteen recently. But anyways, when you press them all quick, all the arrows come up. Now, obviously, he wanted to do it so that one by one, real quick.
I do remember seeing this. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but it was awesome. But yeah, that's basically the trick. Hold it for more than 2 seconds. It won't bring up the lines, and it'll just
the little arrow and stuff, all that. That's crazy.
Yeah. But obviously, and I'm sure Falcon knows this and Evolved. I know you've been playing around the vault, so you probably had this as well. That if something's behind a collectible, sometimes you can't select that.
Yeah.
And it's just a load of trial and error. And just going back to the kind of the soundtrack at the beginning, that's literally, I think, like a sample from an Avengers I think it was Infinity War like teaser, like the first ever teaser trailer. And yeah, because I find I get obsessed with music, right? For me, music's the cheat code for my vaults. Like if you ever watch a vault without my music, you just be like, all right. So I literally had a playlist on my Spotify of, man, they're just called vault soundtracks. And I keep on adding to it, but I couldn't find one that fitted. And so I just loved that do 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 do. And then mixed it with a snap. I don't want to say if I get it wrong. I think you're right though, bro. Yeah. But that's what they used, and then and I'm all about my timing because I used to be a DJ and a music producer. Man, I cannot stand when stuff is out of time, bro. Like if I'm on the train, if I'm traveling somewhere, or no, this is the one that kills me, bro. If I'm watching TV and I've got friends round and they're playing TikTok without their headphones in, I'm like, bro, it drives me mad because I cannot hear two different. Or we'll be playing FIFA, like FIFA football game, and then my mate will be like, oh, can I put on tunes? And then you've got the music coming out of FIFA and tunes. It drives me insane. So I try to have everything I do as in time as possible. Now on your phone, I will get to it because I'll critique my own stuff. Like there's some edits on the Dragon video that I actually hate and I'm really annoyed about. But we'll get into that. Yeah.
But this man's editing is always tight. Your editing is awesome. And in that video, that was a great way of just leading into how you use those music cues to really emphasize certain shots. And it just works so well. And when we met recently, I said to you, I wondered if you had a sort of background in maths, because I know you play poker. And I've always found that what you do is so clean and precise and mathematical that I felt that might be an element of your personality. And it turned out it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah. I will also say one thing about that last video. I suppose it's a little bit of a trick. You could call it a cheat. You could call it whatever. But obviously you've got the Thanos gauntlet snapping and then it goes into the other shot. They are two completely, that's not one vault. So I've shot it where he does the snap and then you go past so you can't see the gauntlet anymore. And then I've just switched to the next vault. So then you see Spider-Man coming along because I think I tried it, but then every time I was like activating the gauntlet, it was like moving something else. I was like, let me just get rid of this and do it in 2. So yeah,
But with the
good,
black,
but
you can seamless, isn't it?
exactly, yeah,
Right.
exactly. Otherwise, it wouldn't have done.
It would have looked a little funny with the reflection of that grid, probably.
Exactly. But going back to, I know you did your shot with the Lamborghinis
Yes.
on
Yeah,
top
that
of it.
was
Like, yeah, that looks sick, man. I do like the reflection on the
Yeah, that looked awesome.
the
on
grid
the
is
special.
what like really helps with that. I think for some reason it has that like glossy effect to it that I figured out putting something like that just looks exactly like a puddle.
Mm.
Was it Get Richie who he put something underneath the floor?
So I also seen that
Was
too. He puts a like a pride card or something like that
Yeah, and it's
underneath, and it
just
looks
this beautiful,
I don't know.
glossy, look really cool. For the
So
vault.
just on that topic as well, because this is funny, because I remember the empty space came. They released the empty space on VeVe when they released Showroom 2.0.
Mm.
And I remember Dan saying, "Love, like we've given you guys an empty space because I know you like to go out and scale things up massive." And I remember I got in there for the first time. I put a poster, tried to drag the poster under the wall, and it wouldn't. I was
No.
like, so I actually DM'd Alex. I remember and said, "Yo, this is great, but man, you're gonna need to be able to put." And they did change it so you could do that, but now it's back to what it was. So
You can't go under the floor.
Yeah,
no, the only
it brings it back up for some reason. It's really weird.
yeah. But obviously, as you've figured out, evolved, like if you flip something upside down, then you can get it under the floor. Like that's the only kind of way. But
I
yeah,
love these cheats.
yeah, little cheat codes and whatnot.
Little tips and tricks here on this episode. Yeah, I at the beginning I completely forgot to do a whole like leave a like, comment, this and that, but I don't care. But I do want to give a shout out to you guys' channel. I
Thank
think
you.
I did. Actually, I did do
You
that.
did. You
I
did. Yeah,
do
thank
that.
You
you.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, you
did.
mentioned it.
We've got to apologise because, to be honest, what was the last thing we put on the Vault Holics channel? Falcon, probably the Eddie
Yeah, a few weeks
Munson.
ago. We don't update it as much as we should. But
Right.
you can follow all of us and
On
there's loads of
Twitter
stuff.
is probably the best way to get
Yeah.
it, like to see your guys' content, probably.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll definitely put those in the description. So if you're not already, go check them out on Twitter. Who knows where else they'll be someday.
Yeah.
Probably.
Let's go into number two. Number 2 for today. We're gonna do 3, so we're on 2. This is gonna be, hold on, there it is, the Alien one. This one I partially watched, but I didn't fully watch because I was like, I need to save this. Let me add it to the screen somehow. That one, yes, perfect. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, got it.
I know you're rewatching it again, but it's okay.
All good. The music does start off quiet. If you're wondering if there's no music, it just comes in gently.
No, it's all good. Oops. I love that.
That's so cool.
I really love that part too. I remember seeing this color. I was like, dude.
It is like the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's so so theatrical. Love it. It looks so good. Creepy. It looks on point with this alien, bro.
That's an alien right there.
It looks exactly like it. I can picture it in my head just like that right there. That's crazy.
It's just a gift that keeps on giving. There's more.
crazy. Low key got my heart racing. I'm like, whoa.
So that's it. So we've seen those things kind of individually, and then we get a big reveal at the end.
Of
It's
everything.
It's beautiful.
The way
Thank
it's
you,
like,
thank you.
the way it's edited, I think it's just, it sets everything up so well, especially like towards the end. You see everything. Oh wait.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorites that I made. Again, anybody that follows me on VeVe Twitter will know my love for Alien and knows that Aliens is the. I know we've got the posters now, obviously, which sparked the idea to do this.
Yeah.
But once we get the Xenomorph in 3D digital collectible form, I've completed VeVe, bro. Like for me, that's all I've ever wanted, and I did one a couple of years back as well.
Yeah, you did.
So like it's the Aliens dome, right? Like that's what the no eyes alien Xenomorph of the thing is, just such an iconic villain, and I've always wanted to try and recreate it. And I did it a few years back where they were just all a load of Batman capes, kind of like loads of different Batmans. I had it was the Batman Who Laughs. I used his kind of jaw as the Xenomorph jaw, sorry. But I couldn't get that kind of his head, like his black dome. And I went and bought a Myrmidon because that was the closest I could find to it, but it still had the horn. And then anyway, but it was all right. I did it a few years back. And then when VeVe finally dropped the posters, and I hope that just alludes to the fact we are going to get the digital collectibles soon, I was like, I've got to do something. So I spent, I've got like 480-ish collectibles, right? So when you're kind of flicking through them, I forget some of the collectibles that I own and stuff like that. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot about that. But then I came across, and it's kind of really obvious now, but Darth Vader's helmet. And then I remember just flipping it from a certain angle. I went, oh my God, you've got the head and you even got the cape. You can't see it in that because it's going through the poster. Card? It's going through the alien poster. It's right there kind of thing. So I had that. That was the first part. And I'm like, right, okay, now what am I going to use for the jaw? And I was going through and I was like, do I just use the Batman Who Laughs one again? Now, obviously, you've got his claw coming out kind of thing, but it wasn't that. And then luckily, because I forget I own this, I don't ever use it in any of my creations, but it was the zombie Captain America. And I was like, all right, let me try that. And then I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like it. But then when you put the humane light, which is, I shouldn't call it a humane light, it's the humane collectible from Decom. And that's one of my favorite collectibles to this day because of the lighting effects it can give you. There's a certain part, I remember watching it because it obviously goes around in emotion. There was a certain part in a certain shot I went, that's it. That looks exactly like the Xenomorph. Right, done it. And I remember I sent it to you, didn't I, Falcon? I was like, I might just drop this like this. And then he was like, nah, maybe you should do a whole thing. And yeah, I'd already had, so shout out to VeVe Vaultmaster, because he was actually the first one I see use the Battlestar Galactica ship. I think it is that. And when you go into that, it's just like a triangle room, really, like a long hallway, and you've got like the lights on it. And I did a Batman one back in January or whatever, and I just went like, well, this will be perfect. And the humane light, it does a really weird thing, and I don't know if this is supposed to happen, right? But where I put the poster, so you've got the triangle room, right? And then you've got the alien poster there. If you put the humane light, just like, you just got to play around with it. It almost creates a light trap. Yeah. So that is behind the poster. But if you move that like 1 inch either way, it doesn't light up the whole room like that. It's almost like a light trap. Is that the right term, Falcon?
Yeah. It's
I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and when I
good.
did, I was
It
just
keeps
like,
it all
wow.
in like one spot rather than
Yeah.
expanding it.
Exactly. Yeah,
It
yeah,
does.
yeah.
When you move it, it does. There's so many different things. I love it. I
Yeah,
was playing with
because
it today actually, and I noticed that. Sorry to jump in, but I
okay.
just remembered I had the Alien Moon poster, and when it was small, because I'd gone right up close to it, if you put the head behind it, it actually backlit the moon.
Oh wow.
But once you blow it up, because that's what we do, it stopped doing it. So I was like, oh, but I need it to be bigger. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was really cool. It made the whole thing
Interesting.
colorful, but
yeah,
only. Oh,
because the humane light, and I think Ed actually brought this up on Twitter, but that you can't expand
no.
or even like you can't scale or descale the humane for whatever reason. So yeah, unfortunately, you have to do things in like a smaller scale. But man, it's so good. And that again, so I actually have three in that video. There's one on like one side of the triangle just behind, one on the other. And if you flip it, I don't know if you noticed, the side of the face is purple.
Yeah.
So you'll get a different kind of lights. And yeah, it's a load of tinkering, but every now and then you find something you just go, holy, are we
Yeah.
allowed to swear on here or not?
I mean,
Oh, like,
I put it out. I put it out every
holy
once in a
beep,
while.
holy beep balls.
Holy
Like this
babe.
looks, holy beep balls.
And I
This looks
love your
amazing.
little, like your references to the film. So you've got the sort of cocooned, it's Tara
Yes.
McPherson,
Yeah.
isn't it? Woman at the beginning, and there's just all these little. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you love aliens.
Because
It's
I wanted
fantastic.
to thank you
It's
for bringing
very
it up,
related.
Falcon, because I might have forgotten about it. But yeah, this is from Aliens. There's a scene where Sigourney Weaver actually finds the queen alien. She sees all the
Yeah.
eggs, and I was like, what can I do for the eggs? And I was just like going through stuff. Like, God, there's absolutely nothing. Realizing 2 days after the soul stones dropped,
Yeah.
like the soul stones, perfect. And that's another really nice little neat trick. Like there's a couple of collectibles, right? So the soul stone, the cola globe, I think they're the main two, right? But if you put something in the cola globe or something in the soul stone, you can't see it. But if you put something else in there that like illuminates stuff, it will then create a silhouette,
Yeah.
which I'll touch on the next video. But for that one, yeah, that was just I put the loot collectible in there. I was like, I can't see it, so I was just messing around, and I got the Tarzan out, and that is just literally the waterfall from the Tarzan going on the Luke. That just highlights him, makes him look like he's in the egg,
Yeah.
so
That's
to
great.
speak. But
It gives
yeah,
a pretty cool effect for sure.
and that's another one where I've turned the contrast right down or right up, whichever way it is. So it's purely blacked out, and you can only see the actual colors, which obviously, helps.
That's your
That's
vibe.
it. So how
That is my vibe.
I gotta ask, how do you deal with all the, like, you know how when you're trying to get it all in one and it's just you keep clicking the other one and going back and forth trying to, like, it just takes time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, bro. Like, let me tell you a little story of old, a little funny story. I think Falcon knows exactly where I'm going with this. Back in January 2022, that's when VeVe changed from showroom 1 to showroom 2.0.
Yeah.
And this was also at the peak bull run of VeVe. Were you around then, Evolve? Sorry, because I haven't even asked yourself, bro. How
No,
long?
you're good. I was in November 2021. So
Okay, yeah.
I
So
seen
you see,
the switch. I seen the
Yeah.
switch.
Yeah.
yeah, bro. And you saw how mad the prices were and how everybody was going crazy on VeVe, and everybody was partying like it's 1999. We're rich, woo!
Yeah.
In the Holics DMs, all we cared about was the fact that they changed the controls, so that issue that you've just said come up. So now I remember, like, we were testing it out. We broke the new app within the new room within like 5 minutes, right? And Falcon was like, "Look at this." He's trying to put Superman, just in front of a poster, clicking it, and it just clicks the thing. At
Poster.
that time, we thought the Voltaholics may be doomed. I certainly got in my feelings a little bit because I scale my stuff up so huge, like it's so hard. And I can't say this is exactly why you don't see much of Ryan Romantek anymore, but because his stuff was
But it
so
is.
precise and spirit level, you just cannot do what he did before. So again, long story short, short story long rather. Yeah, it's a pain. It's a real pain. But shout out to True Tech. He was like, you've just got to plan ahead. So there are, again, these are little things that you'll just realize, and certain collectibles that will help and will not. But there are some collectibles that you can scale up so big that once it gets to a certain point, you can't select it anymore.
Yeah.
So as long as you've got that one what thing fitted, perfect. So again, the Battlestar Galactica ship, I had scaled it up so big that you can't select it anymore. So that's already the room sorted, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So then I put in the Alien poster, and then I think I managed to get the Darth Vader head there, but then that's when issues start to arise. So I had to then move. I just moved the Alien poster so far to the right that it won't be touched. Do you know what I mean? And then you can put everything in, start to slide stuff back. But of course, it's annoying because you're like, you want to see it all come together. Sometimes you're doing those bits and you can't because
And then you have to like
you
bring
got
it
to slide
in,
it
bring it out,
in.
bring it in, bring it out.
Yeah, and so there is a lot of patience involved, but
Another thing you can do is the arrows, on the collectible. If you place the joysticks right on those arrows, rather than touching it with your finger, line up the arrow with your joystick underneath, so on top of it. And if you move it that way, it will not select anything else. It will stay on that arrow, and you can move stuff around like that, which is something I use a lot. That's really helpful.
And should also say, to be fair, obviously, when that whole thing that with Control Gate happened, we did kick up a bit of fuss and fed back to the VeVe team. A shout out to them because they did re-add the arrows, because they literally just changed it, and that was a time. But if you do use it like that without the arrows, it is actually easier. Like you're not selecting, but then you just can't get as accurate.
Yeah,
and
you can.
I
it's just if they're in front of something big, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. There we go. There's the backstory to Aliens, the VeVe version.
No, it's a awesome build for sure. I like the way you do like the whole contrast thing. I like the blacking out and whole cinematic type of trailer thing. It's really cool. It's creative.
Thank you. Yeah, and I guess I got this is probably a perfect segue to shout out Crypto Baby / Athena, because I wasn't ever like wanted to. My stuff's always just been weird and dark from the start. I think Falcon said to me after my third one, "What would you call you, like the David Lynch, or what did you?" Yeah,
I think I probably referenced David Lynch.
Yeah, and Athena called me like the king of horrors, and I wasn't like, it wasn't necessarily what I was trying to do, but then I was like, well, I do love my dark imagery, films and whatnot. So I was like, let me lean into that, and that's just been, I guess, my lane
MO
kind of thing. There it is, MO.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, they're dope. They're really dope. I remember going back because I was doing kind of like research on old content to see where everyone was at before and what people have already done to try and bring something new, but I ended up spacing out and not realizing. So shout out to Crypto Baby, Athena, right? Yeah, those videos were cool. I went back and
shout out to her, man.
Your horror scenes were pretty cool. I did like them, and everyone else was too. It was like Halloween time, so
yeah, we have fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
We are getting to 50 minutes, so I want to get to the next one, so I don't want to keep you guys too long. So I hope it's cool.
All good, bro.
One more in here and chat it up, do whatever. Talk about some future VeVe stuff if you guys are about it.
Ooh. Yeah, cool.
Let's the dragon.
We could just skip the video, couldn't we? We just I don't think Tales really likes this one. I don't think I don't think he wants to show it. I thought it was disappointing.
This guy.
Oh man, good jokes.
Welcome to the British.
No, no worries, no worries. I have a buddy over there somewhere. Forget where, but he
So
he's
you've learned to
from
put up with
Britain
us.
and me, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. Why
Oh.
did that do that? That's great.
All good.
Okay. No, that's right. All right, figured it out. Dragonfire. This one was really cool. I had to watch this one.
Thank
I
you.
just had to. I think because I like Capcom so much, the dragons were just exciting at the moment.
Oh, so cool.
The fire though, it like just all played out so well. Cool. Love the dragons. This scene was my favorite part. Just like
That is so cool.
perfect
timing.
Yes, exactly. The throne. It all looks so pretty, bro.
Beautiful, isn't it? Oh yeah, I see.
I love
A little
that. I
bit of
love that
Ghostbusters
one. I
lightning
love that
there.
one.
Yeah. That looks amazing. And just the movement of those, just that constant movement, it's great.
Yeah. I've always wondered how you get that like vertical pan, like kind of like if you're using a drone and you're going up. I never understood that.
So I've spoken to Falcon about this, and again, this might be something everybody knows, but I only kind of learned what it was just from playing around with Splice, man. I've always done my stuff in Splice.
Okay.
I'm going to be moving to a new editing suite once we get the VeVe, but that's a story for another day. And it's called the Ken Burns effect. And what you can do, you can take a scene. So obviously, like that's obviously not one shot, right? There's all these different shots, but just say you've got like a 3-second clip, you can change it so the camera, even though the camera's moving anyway, because you're doing it, with the joysticks and your screen recording, you can do it so the shot starts at the point you want. So you can blow it up and go right into, I don't know, you could start it off with just, I don't know, the dragon's eye, right? And then you do, what is it even called? Like start shot, end shot. And then, so you can even have it so it spins around or what have you.
It's like an animation, so to speak, onto the video.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I'm doing the shot of, when it's first coming up to the dragon, when he does the jump, like in the main part of the video, so to speak, that's me just going backwards normally. But then the Ken Burns effect makes it look like it's gone starting really close up and then goes up and then it shows the dragon. And again, shout out to Chill Crazy for this, because when we first started, and some of us do it, like I was never filming it, I was just filming it on the phone, right? But now I want to have it so it's widescreen, so like it's like like YouTube kind of standard, and you can change that. Now that does, unfortunately, you don't get as much in the shot, so you've got to really think. But then again, that Ken Burns effect works perfectly, because you can still, even though you're cutting out a lot of the image, you can still use the bits that are cut out via that Ken Burns effect. So if you ever, there you go, top tip, if you're ever filming something and you want to, because it's not there, just use that effect. And
Yeah,
you
it's a
get
good
that.
effect.
Yeah.
Start and end.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you should I just because there's loads of stuff I'd love to talk about on this video in particular, because I think
Evolved mentioned, and I know I screenshotted that fire shot because that is insane.
Right.
You've just got the dragon fire, and you told me how you did that, which was very cool.
Yeah,
you should share that.
I think
the way it like exploded too in like the first part. I don't know if that was an effect or if it was actually the thruster from the train, maybe.
Yeah, so when it's from the back of the dragon, right, and it goes up and then the fire. So obviously the fire is happening all the time, which is the train. But when I know dragon, because he doesn't spit fire, but he's doing that motion. But when it goes to that, I just changed the filter, so it's like really, in your face, and using that Ken Burns effect a bit because he kind of gave it a bit of shaky cam, and I've got to do that. I keep a finger pointing towards Falcon. I know it's background. That he did that really well in your Iron Man versus Silver Surfer video, but you weren't doing the Ken Burns effect. That is just that. But I was like, how can I recreate that?
That's just me doing that in my lounge.
Those ones are really cool too. And if you haven't seen it already, I think a couple episodes. Last episode was Falcon's.
But this isn't about me.
The followers and people following and liking and doing the thing.
As you said though, that fire explosion, that was awesome. That was
yeah. So because I do that several times. So obviously, I guess the main drop. Like I like to think of my vault videos as music with drops, right? Build up to the crescendo. You see the main set piece. So yeah, with the train, and not that scene we were just talking about the main vault scene. Yeah, that is really, 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 really high up, right? And I scaled it so much that I don't know how it just wouldn't move, right? But it would just do the fire bit. And I went out, came back in, and it moved it. And I was just like, no, this is like the main part, bro. Like, and I had to fiddle, play around with it again. But yeah, here's another one where it was kind of so I've gone up to the dragon and I'm like, right, activate dragon, activate thing. And then I managed to get one shot. And I won't lie, normally this takes me a load of time, but it might have been the second time where the dragon jumped up and the fire started at the same time. And I was like, right, okay, that's going to be when the tune really kicks in. And again, the music I pick that always dictates how the video is going to go, right? So when I was listening to it and you've got all those dum, 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 I'm like, I'm going to have so much editing to do because there's no way, because my, part OCD that I have, I'm like, well, that can't just be a normal shot. There's going to have to be flashes of other shots, so it's all in time. To get back to the shot that Mr. Falcon yourself pointed out, where you got the dragon almost in the fire. So that is the Mysterio helmet with the Coke globe inside the Mysterio helmet, and then the dragon inside of that. Now, when I originally did it, I was like, yeah, this looks cool. Like, I want that. But it wasn't even going to be one of the main set pieces. It was just going to be going past it. Until, again, I was messing around with the hue, HUE in Splice. And I got it. So I was like, oh, my days, that's literally fire. That is the dragon coming out of the fire. And, I appreciate Mr. Falcon, because when I did the video, you screenshot and went, this is the shot. And look, I tried to be humble, but when I was watching it back, I was like, this is the shot, bro. And well noticed as well, Falcon, about the ghost trap, which I think it's fair to say you pioneered the use of the ghost trap. Man.
I love the ghost trap.
Yeah,
it's great.
The effects. And that was quite lucky because I had to scale that up quite big, but it never interfered and I could get up to it, select it there. But
when you go for fire, You know, when you're just
Yeah.
going for an explosion for fire, just that, it's just like,
Yeah.
lightning. You just want to throw it all in there, don't you?
Yeah, and to really nerd out on this stuff kind of quick is that if you do that, right, so just say you get the stick or whatever you use, right, but you put something in the Coke globe and it's an animated collectible, you want to animate it, you've got to be so careful of how far it's in because it might not even animate. I don't know whether you even noticed this. Sometimes when you put collectibles through others, you have the arrow, and the arrows will no longer work because, and it's not because you're selecting something else. It's just the other collectibles canceling it out.
The snow globe is notorious for that.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain size and the arrows aren't over the base,
exactly,
it doesn't work. You can't move it.
Yeah. So again, I kind of lucked out. I guess just to give some more. It's quite funny because sometimes I'll buy something for the video, specifically. And I should have mentioned this in the alien video because this isn't really funny, and I don't suggest anybody does this, right? But I wanted a black skull. Now, at the beginning of the alien video, you see the white skull. Opposite is the secret rare. Okay, I'm so sorry because I don't know the name of collectible. It's the secret rare, and I was like, I need a black skull. 450 gems. Yeah, I'll just buy it and I'll sell it after I've done the video. You don't even see that in the video, right? And then I couldn't sell it, bro. I had to so I bought a collectible. It wasn't 450. That's what I think it was like 380. I've had to sell. I sold it yesterday, 250. So $120 to figure to use a collectible.
You didn't use.
Man, I didn't even use.
Man.
So these are the lengths we go to sometimes to.
This is it. It was worth it though. That video is fantastic, and you turned it around very quickly because they dropped. Oh. You must have pulled an all-nighter to do that.
Pretty much.
I mean, you do that most nights anyway, but
yeah, poker life, mate. Poker and vault life keeps you up. But because I originally, as soon as I was like, they're dropping animated dragons.
Yeah.
Like, I am such a huge Game of Thrones fan. Like, it's just who doesn't love animated dragons, bro? That's insane. So as soon as they dropped, I wanted to I started creating the base for it, and so again, that is the floor. If you see any floor, and again, it's only very quick shots. Is the Battlestar Galactica flipped upside down? And I noticed they almost had some walls. So I was like, God, I'm gonna have to scale this up huge. But I wanted it to give the effect that there were walls either side of the vault. But again, they weren't tall enough. And if I was to get them tall enough, by that time, it's so wide that they're nowhere near the vault. So it didn't fully work. But that's why I then put the Jabba the Hutt. Sorry, the Jabba the Hutt on there to add to that because I love the gargoyles.
The base is really cool.
Yeah,
bro. The bases of some of the collectibles are my favorite parts of some of the collectibles.
Yeah,
like
as awesome as those dragons are, the bases are really great as well.
Yeah, really cool. The dragon girls. Oh, and on the dragons. Sorry, yeah. Because so that main shot of where you've got. I don't know what the other dragon is. It's not really a dragon, is it? I call it like a robot chicken on steroids. He's to the right under the Tarzan waterfall. Then you've got the main dragon, a load of soul stones to kind of give it. I was almost going to try and make the Game of Thrones, chair, with all the swords. And then behind the animated dragon is the secret rare dragon. But the best part of the secret rare dragon is the base that he's on. It's like a mountain, and it just looks incredible, man. I love those collectibles, bro. And it's nice we've got to a point now where they're retail or under retail. I think January 2022, bro. Evolved this. I'll quickly. I know this isn't about this, but I spent 3,500 on a Battle Croc Batman statue.
What?
Bro,
that's crazy. I didn't know that. I don't remember the highs on that one,
bro. Because that came out the gate at about 2,000 to 2.5 grand, right? But at this time, it was very bot heavy, and I was like, I'll show them. I'll go and buy myself a 3-digit from a non-bot. Oh, it's gonna cost me another grand. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot sometimes, bro. I try and die on these stupid hills of integrity.
Also, the biggest loss I've suffered as well, because I did what he
Really,
did.
that's.
But you know, yeah,
I didn't know it went that high when it came out.
Bro.
You know, at the time, I don't think I was even paying attention to that
It was
one.
mad.
There was so much going on around at that time.
Well, that month was crazy.
What it does have is a nice base, though, that you can use as kind of a. I've used it as what are they called? Things where you just have a scene.
Backdrop.
Yeah.
You call this diorama?
Diorama.
Yeah, makes a nice floor.
Dioramas.
Just a little bit of it is a very cool kind of city, but like post-apocalyptic type floor. I've used it a few times.
And that works for our styles kind of thing.
Yeah, it does work.
But what's nice about the base of the baton crock, right?
Yeah.
It has a really cool, like, all the details in the street, the sewer plate, like everything just works so well on that.
What's really nice is though having, you know, and as Mr. Tales set up this group, and we've just shared all these ideas and sort of constantly raise each other's games. I think, like, I saw that and immediately wanted to go and use fire and dragons and stuff, and you know, we just feed off each other, I think, and inspire each other, and that's awesome.
For sure.
It's probably the best thing we can really do in this space right now.
Yeah.
So to give it some sentiment, you know. We can we can be creative in these vaults with our collectibles in any way. It doesn't even have to be vault building the way you guys do it. It could be just one collectible in a certain position in real life that can tell a whole story, you know. Like, so I think it's really cool that
we've always had utility for our collectibles as well. You know, we've always had it because we've used them. We spent hours using them to make our pretty pictures and videos, which is something other people have not done. But you know, good for us.
No, the hours spent is worth it because you guys have made some crazy stuff. Awesome art. It's like a whole new art way of putting out some art.
Yeah.
So it's really dope.
For sure, man.
The way you guys inspire each other, the way you guys inspire the community to get on to vault building, it's awesome. It brings the community together. It means we're trying to build something on top of what VeVe is trying to build. So it's like, as long as we do it together. The saying of the week has been, we're all in the same boat. Let's paddle together. Like, literally, I've been saying that all week. I don't know why, but it's just like fits perfect for everything that's going on. So I think it's really
and just to touch on that as well, Evolve, like back then, you know, well, we're talking like late 2021. VeVe have come out and said this, so this isn't just us like blowing smoke, but they said they never anticipated or expected this to come out from their app. They just wanted to sell digital collectibles so people could display them and people could come in. And obviously some of us have taken it to other levels, to the point where, was it Tom Bilyeu, who's, you know, he's got his own, I don't really probably know, but he's got his own NFT thing. He's been pushing it, and he said, like, there was a video of him, and there's probably been a lot of talk, certain influencers of other projects will never mention VeVe and yada, yada, yada. But he weren't like that. And he was like, the genius that VeVe did was create the vault thing. And he spoke on one of True Tech Junkies vaults where True Tech had put the DeLorean in the vault, but he scaled it up so big that the electricity that goes through the flux capacitor was just running through the room. And he was like, this is the next thing. Like, this is the big next thing. And when they were building Showroom 2.0 and where they were having these regular AMAs with Dave, Dan, you know, when Trevor was part of the team, Trevor always used to say, oh yeah, I hate that you can get out through the corners of the vault. I'm going to change that. And we were all like,
no,
what? No, bruv, do not ruin this for us. And we were like, you have to allow us, otherwise, for me, I wouldn't have been building anymore. I hardly ever build in a vault because I want to scale my stuff up. And I was like, that is insane. Like, don't you want to push the creators? And then Dan, you know, they came around to that. And they were like, right, we've put a little bit just to the left. Like, you can get out if you want to. Because they were even going to stop being able to scale stuff up big. And I was like, you can't do that. Like, no.
Yeah.
Obviously can do what they want, their VeVe, but you know, just this is just mine, a monologue. But
Thankfully, we've
lucky,
kicked up such a fuss that they've listened to us, and these things haven't
yeah.
happened.
And now, you know, I can tell that David and Dan genuinely love the stuff that the community put out, and you know, they're sharing it when they enjoy it, and yeah, it's awesome for us to, you know, the certain members of the community to be able to do something that for a company that the company never envisioned. And now, you know, obviously they're building around the VeVe and everything like that. So yeah, man, exciting times.
VeVe versus McDope. Even gonna be like 10 times better than the vaults for sure. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
there's gonna be some hiccups probably. So who knows what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's gonna be growing pains, but at the end of the day, if we can create what we can in the app, I'm sure, you know, and if we're to get onto that subject a little bit, what's really exciting to me is the stuff that Dan said, right? So you'll be able to like program it, yeah. So when you've got friends over and you know we've got these Apple Vision glasses or whatever, and you're taking your friends through it, you can program it so collectibles can drop from the floor at a certain point. Do you know what I mean? You can, if you've got an animated collectible, you can freeze it in a certain point. So it's always at that point, and then press it, and it will do the animation and stop there. Like the lighting is going to be incredible. He said you'll be able to, if you're outside of your showroom, right? Just say it's daytime, you can change it so it is thunder and lightning and rain and like that stuff to me, because you know, I guess myself and Falcon and the guys, we spent a lot of time using collectibles to try and make it look like that or make it look like fire and stuff like that. And all right, I guess that's a big part of how much we've loved it. But when we can finally get, here you go, here's some lights, like yes, like yeah, it's gonna be mad.
That's my
Can't wait.
favorite thing to do at the moment. Just play around with all the collectibles that add light effects to stuff.
Oh, yeah,
the human head, the fire from the Back to the Future train, the flames from Baymax's boots. Like that's what I spend most of my time doing, just to see what kind of weird colors and effects it'll add to these things, just to make them pop out a bit more. That's the most fun. So yeah, more lights, please.
Yeah, more lights. And sorry, Volta, I know we might be going over time a bit. I'll just quickly tell you a funny little story from Decon UK. Obviously, David and Dan were there. This is the first time a lot of us were meeting. Myself and Falcon had met quite a few times. But they did almost like this live AMA. It felt like being what do you call it over in America? Like a school assembly. You know, when you're young, did you guys have that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it felt like a school assembly. Me and Falcon and you know little naughty boys at the back or whatever, and David and Dan, and we hadn't really. I think you'd introduced yourself, Falcon, but I hadn't at the time. And David and Dan are talking about like what you want for the vaults and the VeVe and whatnot, and I was like, buildings. We want buildings, you know, like stop making us use Iron Man swords. Shout out to True Tech to make buildings. And I don't know if you've seen the recent clip where they're inside the showroom, but then he's got the battle crop, and it's just like that dark, derelict building. I'm like,
it looks so good.
That's it.
We get that stuff to be able, bro. You think this stuff's film trailers now? Boy, you wait. It's gonna be nuts.
Oh yeah. The you'll be able to make actual like a whole map of dioramas rather than it being on the wall.
That's
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait, bro.
That's all 3 videos. It was awesome to go over those and hear a bit of backstory between all this. I mean, do you guys want to keep going and talk some VeVe, or you guys want to cut it out and we'll just
I can do it for another 5 or so minutes, but my dinner is nearly going to be ready.
I gotta get my kids to bed, but yeah, 5 minutes is good.
No, yeah, we'll let's just say everything's been cool. I appreciate you guys a
amazing.
lot, honestly. The time spent here, the time spent in vaults, it's gonna be worth it later because we're kind of advertising in a way for VeVe ourselves.
Yeah,
you know, they don't need to put any of that out. Content, that's what they use. They don't use us, but I mean, we're kind of used in a way as testers of the space, and we can do it that way. Yeah, I don't know what I was going with that, but
well, I know exactly what you mean, bro. Yeah, we've always been.
We're very good at
advertising.
marketing. Yeah.
But thank you, bro. I just want to say thank you for having us on, and thank you for starting to push content like this on YouTube. If anybody who follows me on Twitter, they see me, throw out a few shots to other YouTubers that all they want to talk about is market, and nobody wants to shine the light on the utility we've had in the app from the start. Sorry to say that so condescending, but I'm a Virgo and it's just the way I am. But and we really appreciate you
We do.
for just doing it in the right way. I love that you had questions today for like parts of the vault that I'm like, thank you, man, because I want to talk on that, but I also don't want to go, hey guys, I did this, and but you bring out, you see the things that we see, that we geek out about, and bring them up. So for that, truly appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, thank you, dude. I
create
every once in a while, so it's like I want to figure out
you get it
the best way. Yeah, like I deal with all the things you deal with, and probably not even at that scale, because I'm tired of it. So I'll just like close it. I'm out. I'm gone. I'll come back another day, and it's like a month later, and it's just still there. But honestly, they're really cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for the shout outs this week. Thank you, Falcon, for co-hosting today.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute pleasure to celebrate this man's work. And as he said, we really appreciate this. It's awesome to have a spotlight shined on us playing with our action figures.
You gotta get perspectives,
very cool,
man. There's different perspectives from everybody.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
gotta get perspectives. Everyone has different perspective. You gotta see it from all angles.
That's right.
100%, bro.
So yeah, just had to share Tales. I have to share all you guys. So Vaultaholics, Mr. Falcon, Tales,
salute, bro.
Risso,
thank you
guys again. Go follow these guys. Don't dissolve, stay about, my friends.
Go follow that guy.
But yeah, follow that.
Okay, that guy, all these guys.
Cheers, guys.
Oh,